Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hobby Lodge, and I thought it was about time I did a pickups video because it's been a long while. If you haven't listened to the latest podcast, something happened in my life that we're now through, thankfully, and we're in a different place. But it meant that a lot of things on the channel had to just go into pause, and I haven't done a pickups video or even just a chat about the channel in a long time. So look, this is a pickups video, so enjoy it if that's your sort of thing. We did put out an episode of the podcast about a month ago. A new episode should be going out hopefully in the next couple of weeks. I'm also going to do a room tour because this is the last time this room tour will show how this room looks, and it's going to completely change in the next 12 months. Yeah, if you want to see how we got to this point, then check out that video, and then I will be talking about what happens next. Yeah, hopefully more outings, try and do some more content, try and get back onto Monday Night Retros. If you're not, check out Monday Night Retro. I'd love you to come along and watch that. That's basically where I live stream a whole bunch of games and just have a good fun in the evening on a Monday, because Mondays are boring. So let's make Mondays a bit less boring by having some gaming. Yeah, but for now, I'm just going to jump into this pickups video, and yeah, let's just crack on, and I'll see you in a sec. Not too much board game stuff to go over. Obviously, I did a video a little while ago where we went to UK Games Expo. UK Games Expo, largest convention in the UK around board gaming, war gaming, card gaming, all of that jazz. So if you want to see that video, I'll maybe try and link it up on the screen somewhere. But it wasn't that long ago. You can go and find it if you want to see it. And I did pick up a new part of a game. So I'll show this, but only because it links to what I actually picked up recently. This is Hero Quest, the Mage of the Mirror, and it's a new expansion for the Hero Quest game. Now, obviously, they have done a re-release of Hero Quest. If you want to get hold of a copy of it, it's now much easier. You haven't got to pay £250 for an original 89 copy of Hero Quest. I actually have mine. I have a fully painted Hero Quest. I may have mentioned it once or twice. And I have the original expansions as well in Keller's Keep and Return of the Witch Lord. But the great thing is the new expansions are completely compatible with that old game or the new game. So yeah, this was something I picked up then. The only reason I'm showing it again is because just yesterday I picked up Crypt of Perpetual Darkness. So this is a new expansion made by Joe Manganiello, who is a Hollywood actor, but probably in the last 10 years is more known for his engagement with the role-playing community. I think he's been a lifelong D&D player, and he's written books and stories and characters, some very famous characters that have made it into Wizards of the Coast, Dungeons and Dragons lore. Yeah, this is his expansion that he's written for Hero Quest. It comes with this cool little dragon. It's a very lenticular box. It's actually a very fancy box compared to most of the other Warhammer Hero Quest boxes. So yeah, you've got a nice cover, you've got new cards, new artwork, and something that's going to expand upon your existing Hero Quest, be that the original or the new one. So yeah, really looking forward to playing this, and hopefully I can do a bit of a, maybe not just an unboxing, but a little let's play of it and show you guys what's actually part of the game, because I love Hero Quest. So it's fantastic that we're able to keep adding to that universe and that world and building upon that board game. And if you haven't played it, it's a great family game, and it's definitely worth picking up if you fancy getting into the role-playing Dungeons and Dragons, dungeon delving, fighting monsters kind of world with your family, but maybe aren't ready to step it into some of the big games that are out there. Hero Quest is just an absolute stone-cold classic of a board game from both our childhoods and now even for new childhoods. But there we go, Hero Quest. Okay, we find ourselves in what was Commodore Corner and Amiga Workbench, but has now slowly developed into the 16-bit area and the fixed 8-bit area. Actually, swap those around, 16-bit, 8-bit, but still very much predominantly, done by Commodore. Yeah, I'm going to rattle through a whole bunch of things, only because I've just picked up so many bits in this space since the last video. You know, I've been to a London gaming market, I've been to the Retro Realm, I've been to Al's Arcade and had a visit with him, and just other bits and pieces have come along. So there's no good way to do this apart from just get through what I have, just to show you guys what I've picked up, even a few eBay purchases here and there. So one of the things I've done is, you know, I've got the Twin Famicom now, which I've showed before. So I've been looking out for those discs, because those discs are just, they're a wonder to hold and to look at and have. So I've been picking up a few disc-based games for this system on the Famicom. This one here is Deep Dungeon. It is very much a Indiana Jones game. I highly recommend, if you can pick this up, this is worth picking up. This is very difficult, but a very good NES 8-bit Indiana Jones game, and it doesn't matter that it's in Japanese. You don't need to read it. Yeah, however you might get hold of this one, I think it's definitely worth checking out. So yes, I'll try and get that nice and close for you. There we go. Yeah, Indiana Jones. We have then two others, which I don't really know the name of. Amuru, I think the name of the game is. It's Amuru 1 and 2. These are a bit more harder because there is some RPG elements, but I just love the case art on them. I love the way they look, and like I say, if I can pick up discs for not much, I'll pick them up just because they're so cool. And then the last one is a game called, and I'm going to get this wrong and everyone's going to tell me I got it wrong, is Gyrus. There we go. And again, another fantastic looking little case. And again, I will show, you guys have seen these, but if you haven't seen these, actual floppy disks to go in your Twin Famicom. So yeah, really very cool. So we're worth picking up. At the London Gaming Market, I did pick up some Famicom carts, just because if you see them out there, you see them cheap, it's worth picking up. The only one that's really notable is one called Demon's World, which I actually borrowed off of Al's Arcade. If you're not know his channel, he was formerly part of a bunch of other things, but he has his own channel back again now, and his Al's Arcade on there, and he has a wonderful place where he lives out in the country, a wonderful house, a wonderful little arcade full of some great machines, very aesthetically done, just very cool, very reminiscent of the arcades of the eras in the 80s. And he let me borrow a bunch of games from him at a time, and one of them was Demon's World, and it was probably the one that I had the most fun playing, so I had to pick it up. So yeah, that wasn't very much. I think it was like £10 or something like that. And then at the London Gaming Market, there was a guy who was doing 3 for £10, I think it was. I managed to get 4 for £10. It's always worth asking, being a little bit cheeky. Of course, you don't know what you're picking up, so you have no idea. This one was clearly going to be a boxing game, and it is, so that's great. I don't know the name of it, but yeah, it's a little boxing game with Famicom. And again, all of these two here, which I'm not going to be able to say the name of, but I just went based on the artwork. This is an RPG. Of course, good luck playing that in Japanese. We have Exeron, which was a shooter. It's actually all right. Nothing wrong with that. It's a bit like I think it's a bit like a Gallagher type game. And then another one here, which looks very Power Rangery, or someone might even know what that is. But again, it is a RPG, so not much hope for me playing that. We'll keep doing pickups from London Gaming Market. I did see a stall, actually Sega Zombie helped me find all of these. So there was a stall doing a bunch of Amiga games quite cheap. So I did pick up a bunch, and actually some of these are really good. I'll start off with an absolute banger that may not be known to everyone. I think anyone in the Amiga community will know this game and absolutely love it. I've just discovered, oh, I thought it was sealed for a moment then. It's not sealed, it's just it's still got the sticky tab on it. But the first one is Shuffle Puck. There we go. Sorry for not taking the sticker off it, but Shuffle Puck is an amazing game. If I show you the back of it, you might recognise it. But yes, you are essentially playing air hockey against weird and wonderful characters from all over the galaxy. And it starts off quite nice. I feel like you're going to get the hang of the game, but it very quickly ramps up to being quite difficult. And some of the enemy characters have lightning fast reactions, no matter how fast you think you are. Yes, that was that one. Next up, we got Dungeon Quest, which is a bit of a new one on me. So I don't know this game, but again, looks fantastic. I haven't. It's going to be a sort of point and click first person adventure type thing, but I haven't actually played it. But again, these are lovely little boxes with the discs inside, so it's worth picking them up. Of course, a classic Buggy Boy. Who doesn't know Buggy Boy? Runs pretty well on the Amiga. It's a pretty good conversion. And then, of course, I had to pick up this just because, I mean, who wouldn't? It is, best show you this way around, I guess. Shadow of the Beast 2, Shadow of the Beast games. Some of them are not great playing games, but visually they look fantastic, really push the Amiga's capabilities, and obviously Psygnosis, absolute. That logo just means you're going to get quality game out of it. So yeah, really happy to have that. I'm going to save one to the last because, I mean, don't use this off. I don't use this language like easily, right? But the one I'm going to show last is a Grail, and I have to show it last, right? It is the Grail. Next up, we've got Green Beret. Really nice condition, this one. So this was on the Commodore 64, obviously. We've moved on from the Amiga stuff. There was a guy who, we were just walking around, and he had some Amiga stuff. And I was like, oh, it's a shame we've got no Commodore 64. And he went, I've had Commodore 64 out all day, but I've just put it all away because nobody's interested. I was like, mate, I'm interested. It was actually quite a funny theme of the whole entire day, really, was walking around, and Scott or Alex Arcade or Tetley or someone, U-Star Gamer Alex, would mention Commodore, and someone would pop up and be like, oh, I've got some Commodore, and of course I would then be picking it up. Yeah, we've got Green Beret on the Commodore 64, and it is like so clean. It is like barely been touched. I don't know if it's even been played. So I was really happy to pick that up. I think it is an upgrade. I think I do own this. I'm very surprised if I don't. I'm almost positive I do. But when I saw that, I knew instantly it was an upgrade for me. So yeah, picked that up. We then got Turtles on the Commodore 64. Again, I do actually own this, but this is a nice upgrade, I think, to mine. Sometimes you pick them up and you don't know if you own them or not, because I don't really keep a list of everything. I don't know if everyone else does, but it's just nice to grab them when you see them, and then if needs be, you can move it on or whatever, or give it to a friend. So yeah, we'll keep going with the Commodore 64 stuff, because I did pick up some other games as well from that same guy, and he did me all of the prices on here, and not the prices I paid, because he was basically like, I'm never going to sell any of this stuff. Where's the Commodore love, eh? I'm never going to sell any of this stuff, so he did me a much cheaper price on pretty much everything. So bunch of Mastertronics games. So we've got here Orbitron, which I think I already own. In fact, I'm positive I own this already. But these will go to probably my good friend Nerdy Geezer. Bionic Granny. No, I definitely own that. But again, these are some nice conditioned ones, so there'll be some nice upgrades. Star Trek. So trying to get this on the camera for you. Munch Mania, I know I've got that, another Mastertronics game. And this is an absolute classic, which I don't think I actually own, and I'm surprised I don't own, because I love the mechanics of these types of games. So Thrust, it's just a classic game, but my goodness, does it run well. And look how nice it is. I'm going to actually open this one, because I haven't opened it, but I'm not sure these have been played. Like, it just looks like it's fresh off the shelf. And maybe he just went through and put them all in new cases and stuff, but my goodness, yeah, really chuffed with how well all of those come out looking. Yeah, I'm not going to complain at all. One new Commodore 64 game which has come out, and I will take this out of the packet so you can get a better, less glared view of it. But it's a new Psytronics game, which, you know, I'm a big fan of the Psytronics brand and all the games they've been doing. They've been re-releasing some of the games, and some of their new games are coming out in this almost like Hit Squad type collection. I've got the first 9 games. Yes, I think it's 9 games. So this is number 10 in the collection, and it is Tyrian's Towers, which is a bit of a puzzle platformer, I think. but you can see there, looks really nice. So yeah, I'll come back to this because I want to keep reviewing these games. But this is number 10 in their collection, and obviously they do it so you've got a nice number to collect, and they look very similar in how they're laid out. Again, very much akin to that Hit Squads and other game collections like that. So I'm afraid they've hooked me in. I own the first 10, and I'm sure I'll own the next 10 and so on. But yeah, Cytronics, of all the homebrew people I deal with, I mean that in the sense of as a customer, these guys just keep banging out fantastic little games. The service is fantastic. Their pricing is fantastic. You're talking £8 for a brand new game on the Commodore 64, where some companies can be 30, 40, 50 pounds for games. You get more, fair enough. Sometimes you get like nice displays and stuff, but if you just want a nice game on tape, Cytronics is the way to go. A few more Amiga games to show off. Again, all from the London gaming market pretty much. We have Shinobi, which, you know, everyone knows what Shinobi is. So I'll try and get you some back there. But yeah, again, I think it was, again, none of these prices are the actual prices. I've never been very good at sort of like haggling and asking for money off and stuff like that. It's not an easy thing for me to do. I find it quite odd in that environment. I know for some people it's very natural. But this is one of the first times where I kind of just got into it, and just when I would bundle things together or buy multiple games, I'd say, hey, do you think there's anything you could do on the price and all sort of stuff. So yeah, it was well worth sort of asking in the future, because I don't normally do it. And I think in almost every situation, I got some money off, which was nice. Atomic Robo Kid, which this is one that Sega Zombie said it was really, really good, and I don't have any memory of it. So yeah, it looks great on the little graphics on the back. But yeah, I'm gonna check this one out, because if Sega Zombie says it's pretty good, then it probably is so. So yeah, this one was I'll show this one first. I think this was another one that Sega Zombie said was a good game, and it's another shooter. So you know, who knows? But yes, Gold Runner on the Amiga. So the box art is wicked. But yeah, if I can try and get you some pictures of it. There we go. That looks pretty. It looks pretty solid. This one I had to pick up. I love collections. I love. You know, back in the day, yes, you could go and buy a new game, but if you went to your WH Smiths, you went to your Argoses, your Woolworths, more so your Woolworths and stuff like that, you would find compilation boxes, and often you would get a bunch of games that are really, really good. And I have a bunch of them, many of them. And I'd never seen this one before, so I really wanted to pick this one up. Now, it wasn't cheap. I mean, it wasn't expensive, but it wasn't cheap for these collections of games. And it's called Heatwave, and it is a Commodore 64 collection of games. But I'd never seen the box before. Like, that is a new one on me, Heatwave. Obviously, you're used to the Hollywood collection and I think it's not called the Nightbreed collection, but the one with Nightbreed on it, all those sorts of things. Dropped out of my head, as those things tend to do. But yeah, I really wanted to pick this one up because it just looked so cool. I even wasn't that fussed about what the games were on it, but the games that are on it, given I don't have my glasses, Nebulous, Rana, Firelord, Impossible, Synapse, Netherworld, Alley Cat. So there's definitely some great little games on there. But to me, it was that box art that jumped out. Not for the obvious reasons, but it was just one I'd not seen. So yeah, picked that up, which is really, really cool. New games on the Commodore 64. Again, whenever I can, I try and pick up some new games. The homebrew scene for the Commodore 64 is vibrant. There's always stuff being developed for it, and this one is by no exception. Absolutely freaking awesome looking. Look at that box art. Death Flood. Very, very cool. So this is actually a cartridge-based game. Unfortunately, the discs. Oh no, I forgot this one is a disc. There's still some out there you can get, some disc-based games. I thought this was cartridge. One of the other games I've got is a cartridge game. I'm a big fan of the discs, so if I can keep getting them, I will do. But they are getting less and less out there. But yeah, this one I managed to get on disc, and let's just look at it. I just love the box. I want to find where to place. In fact, it comes with a poster, so I will pop the poster up hopefully at some point. But yeah, this is a game where unfortunately it doesn't look as good as that, the game itself. I'm sure if this was a you know, a Nintendo Switch game or something, you could probably actually create that character and make him look as cool as he does there. But this is a risk reward platformer puzzler. It's probably the best way I can describe it. You enter into this towered castle, and you have to make your way from floor to floor. You've got to escape. There's monsters, there's locked doors, there's treasure, and there's keys. And while you're trying to navigate not only the route through to escape and find the key for the right door, kill the monsters, collect the gold, because obviously you want to come out with some riches, the tower is flooding. The water is rising. And you can go underwater for a short period of time, or so you can hold your breath. So again, risk reward. Do I want to go and get that last piece of gold, which means going underwater, but am I going to be able to find my way out? Did I get the right key for the right door? Do I need to, you know, instead of going for the gold, go for the other key because I might need that later on, and so on and so forth. So it's a real like interesting little game. Graphically, it's okay. Like it's done in a very small style. I have played it on live stream. So if you check out one of my Commodore 64 Monday Night Retros, you'll see me playing this, and I enjoyed it. The music's really great. The graphics are, some people will like it, some people won't, but cracking little game, and as you can see, it looks lovely. It looks absolutely wonderful. So yeah, Death Flood, Dungeon of Doom is what it's called, and it's by Polyplay, who again always knock out really cracking looking, you know, collectible type games. This is very, very nice. You stick that on your shelf, and you know, and it would look super cool. So yeah, that is Death Flood. Now I think this is a great time to talk about grails. You know, I think people throw around the word grail a little bit too easily in the community. And you know, I'm not going to do that. You know, I don't think I've ever used the word the grail before and said this is the grail for the Hobby Lodge. Definitely I've had some things that were special, like the Vectrex and some other bits and pieces. But you know, when you're saying the grail, you can't just muck about. So I finally do have that, and this is it. And I'm going to show you it right now. There we go. You can't get more Grail than a game called the Grail. I'm just going to put it out there. It won't even focus. It's so good, the camera won't even focus on it. But there we go. The Grail game has finally entered the Hobby Lodge. No one else out there can claim to have the Grail, and I do. So very happy with this. Of course, in complete jest, I have no idea what this game is. But when I saw it, I figured you've got to own a game called The Grail when we're all out here collecting video games and nostalgia. And yes, it looks to be like almost a text adventure, not text adventure, but a point and click type of adventure game. I'll have to check it out and load it up. But The Grail, you can't look, it's there. It's in the title, guys. It is The Grail. So maybe maybe a bit misleading, but I'm sorry, I couldn't resist but picking that up. Lastly, from my visit to Al's Arcade, we did pick up some NES games at his doubles that he doesn't want anymore, and he did a fantastic little price on them. In fact, I've got another thing over here that I'll show you a bit later on that I also got from him. So we picked up some NES games because I love picking up the loose carts if I can get them. I don't want Nintendo cardboard, I don't want all that hassle, but if I can pick up loose games, especially cheap, then I'll grab them. So we've got Mac Rider on the NES. Got Urban Champion. We've got the Immortal Robocop. And we got, I can't even pronounce it, Cubicle, which I think a lot of people know. I don't know this game, but a lot of people do. And I think it's a very fun little puzzler. So yeah, sorry for just rattling through those a bit. Oh, one other thing I did pick up, which actually was a gift from Sega Zombie, was this Cruiser joystick for the Commodore 64 or the Amiga. I don't have this clear model. I have the pastel one, which I love. The pastel one is absolutely my childhood. I own several of the pastels. I have a blue and red one. I have a black one. I have another color that's gone out of my head for a reason. But I now have a crystal clear one. It has a couple of problems which I can fix, and that is that the right micro switch has gone, but I have a few of these, so they're quite easy to replace parts. And in fact, if you have one of these that doesn't work, fixing them is even if you're not a person who knows how to do this sort of stuff, it's really easy. It's just unplug the micro switch, grab one from maybe your joystick that's a bit battered or something, and away you go. So yeah, I'm going to give this one a bit of a spruce up because I think it's quite cool. I like the clear casing of it, and they're my favourite joysticks. The Cruiser joysticks. I know people always have their favourites, but if I'm playing on the Commodore 64 or the Amiga, I want to be using a Cruiser. Just because that's my jam. A couple of other little bits to show. I mentioned that I went to see Al's Arcade and I picked up some fantastic little NES games from him and had a wonderful day at his house and his arcade that he has set up. Just an absolute gent. Lives in a beautiful home out in the countryside. There's a fantastic arcade that's just, I think I've mentioned already many times, just invokes those feelings of being inside an arcade from the sort of the 80s and the 90s. Lots of use of neon and just black light reactive stuff, and the noise and the sound of the arcade. It just works. It's just someone who knows what they're doing in that space. But I did pick up this TV from him. You're going to get a terrible image because it's going to be flickering like mad. But it's little Sony Trinitron. I had a really cruddy Grundig TV there with a video player attached. The video player, 8 cassettes, so I lost my copy of Warriors on VHS, being chewed up by that thing, and the picture was just terrible. This thing is lovely, just really, really nice. It fits better on the shelf anyway. It gives me a better picture for all of the consoles I've got hooked up to it, and just great. Now, mostly I use this for light gun games. I like to sort of stand kind of where the camera is now, where you guys are watching me, and I play my light gun games on there. Because it's just really, really enjoy light gun games. But it's also great to have other things hooked up to it as well. What I do need to invest in is a decent SCART selector, because I find I'm getting some weird goings on with some of the cheaper ones. So if you've got any recommendations, that'd be lovely to hear. But yeah, just some little quick pickups. First of all, just one new movie. As I said, I'm very selective on what I'm going to be picking up on things like 4K or Laserdisc or anything like that. And I did pick up Willow on 4K. So Willow is obviously a fantastic fantasy movie from our childhoods. And when I saw that, I think it was half price in HMV or something silly. I thought that's got to be worth owning, because yeah, Willow is just an absolute classic. Maybe not so much known well now because of the TV show was pretty horrendous. But the original movie, if you love that kind of high fantasy, which I do, this is right up there, and I'm sure you all know that. And then just some PS5 stuff. Not really that bothered about showing off PS5, but I will show Night Rain. This is a game that I own on. Well, I own 4 copies of this now. I own it on 3 copies on PC for me and my 2 oldest sons, and then a copy on PS5. This is taking the game Elden Ring, which I am a huge advocate of. And in fact, I've loved the fact that 2 of my close friends in Al's Arcade and U-Star Gamer have both gotten into playing Elden Ring. And as I record this, they are in the struggle. They are fighting the bosses. They are learning the mechanics. They're doing really well. They're coming up to about halfway through the game. And it's great hearing them talk to every day about the bosses they're coming up against and the events that they're doing, the dungeons they're finding, all this sort of stuff. It's really, really cool. So if you haven't checked out Elden Ring, do it. It's probably one of the best modern games you'll ever play if you can get over that initial hurdle of how difficult the game can be. And Elden Ring is like a Night Rain is like a battle royale version of Elden Ring. 3 of you swoop into an area, start killing monsters, collecting weapons. You've got a really short time frame to get through as much as you can, and at the end of what is effectively about 40 minutes of gameplay, you fight a big boss, kill the big boss, get some cool loot, rinse and repeat. Yeah, it's a really nice way to play the game, and to you know, get into the world of Elden Ring. Maybe play this and then, you know, go for the full game. But really cool. And of course, then well, not of course, but I've saw this and had to pick it up, given the world that this guy created, and the games and the lunacy and all the rest of it in the era that I'm a big fan of in the Commodore and so on, is the Jeff Minter Lamasoft, what am I saying? Lamasoft collection. I've not tried it out yet, so I don't know how good it's going to be, but just look at the psychedelicness, the craziness, the camels, the the colours. This was, or the llamas, I should say. This is just bonkersness in video game form. It has 42 of it says on the back here, play 42 of the weirdest, wildest, trippiest, sheepiest games ever created. Absolutely. Yeah, I figured that was worth picking up, just because, you know, it is capturing all of that history that he created. Yes, that was that for there. I don't normally show too much of the toys because I don't collect a whole lot. I just like to collect stuff that's nostalgic to me, and Visionaries was definitely one that I absolutely adored. At a local toy fair recently, I managed to pick up 3 additional Visionaries to add to the collection. Now there's 12 in total. I'd like to think that maybe I can go for a full set. But we shall see. They were fully complete. The guy was selling them at a very cheap price for 3 complete Visionaries. These are very expensive toys if you try and get them nowadays. And the fact that all of their holograms are perfectly intact, they had all of their weapons, all of their helmets, and even these nice little resin printed stands. I thought this was an absolute must pick up. And like I say, hopefully, maybe I'll be able to get all of them. But if I don't, that's okay. But I'm really happy with these ones. Woo! We did it. We got through a pickups video. Sorry if that was rough. Like I say, I've been slightly out of practice of all of this, but I've shown you a bunch of things that I picked up. I know for a fact I've missed some stuff because I'm looking around. I actually have a completely new system to show off as well, so maybe I'll do that as a different video. And it's a system that, as a Commodore guy, you would not expecting me to be talking about, but yes, it has entered the lodge, and I have a collection of games for the system that, you know, I don't even want to mention it by name because it hurts as the words come out of my mouth. But if you know me, you probably know what that system is. But I will do a separate video on it. Again, apologise for the roughness. I hope you got through it, and I'll see you on the next one. All right. Cheers all. Bye bye.